bridge had drawn her with trusses set deep to stand through the gales with a strength of her own. But Moiseev came west, and to lighten the cost, he pared her down slim as a sliver of bone. She opened midsummer, the 1st of July, in 1940, the pride of the Sound. 2,800 feet, tower to tower, the longest but two to be anywhere found. For only 2 bridges on earth ran more far, the Golden Gate gleaming had opened of late, and far to the east stood the George Washington. But slim little Gertie came third and stood straight. But they built her so shallow, so narrow and slight, with her plate girders solid, 8 foot at the side. So the wind, finding no way to pass, caught the deck like a sail in a gale, and she rocked like the tide. She would gallop and roll from the day she was new, and drivers grew seasick to cross side to side. You would watch the car yonder go under the swell, then come rising back up on the swell of her tide. Now they called her Galloping Gertie in jest, for she pitched like a pony too wild to be reined. The workmen sucked lemons to settle their guts, and the sightseers came just to see her unchained. Now a bank by the bridge had a billboard that crowed that your dollars were safe as secure as the span. They'd have sworn that your savings would stand like the Narrows, till she fell, and they papered it over and ran. Oh, Galloping Gertie danced on the line, the bell of the Narrows so steady, so fine. But the wind found your rhythm and asked for the floor, and the lightest of dancers don't dance anymore. Now French sold a policy, 800 grand, so sure of her standing, he pocketed all. He banked the whole sum with a card in his hand, dead certain that Gertie would never once fall. A 7 dawn gray with a 42 gay, she'd gallop for months But that morning she turned, not rolling but twisting her deck like a sail. She wound to a corkscrew like something she'd learned. She heaved 28 feet from her crest to her low, and she tilted her roadbed near half to the ground. The cable sang taut and the steel of her groaned, and the watchers fell silent, struck dumb by the sound. The last man to cross was a newsman by trade, and his car stalled and pitched as the roadway went wild. He crawled off on his knees to the cabling and posts, but he left in the backseat the dog of his child. Now Tubby, that spaniel, had suffered before. A car years ago left him crippled and lame. Just 3 legs beneath him, the limp of the mane, and a sweeter old fellow you never could name. Then coats were turned back, but the bridge wouldn't hold, and Clifford and Brentno came out brave and bold. Then Far Carson reached him out there in the spray, but Tubby, too frightened, would not come away. He bit the bare hand that had reached through the roar, and one then another fell back to the shore. No rope and no calling could turn the dog back, but it was not, I'll swear, for the lack of a try. At 11 she buckled the center, let go. The cable snapped free with a crack like a gun. 600 feet plunged to the cold of the Sound, and the lone soul aboard her was Tubby, just one. Oh, Galloping Gertie, you danced on the line, the bell of the narrows, so steady, so fine. But the wind found your rhythm and asked for the floor, and the lightest of dancers don't dance anymore. Jailed Hal at French for the wager he laid. They raised her again, and the new bridge was made, with deep open trusses to let the wind through, and they christened her sturdy in 50 brand new. And the traffic grew heavy, they built her a twin, a sister beside her in 2007. Now 2 of them carry the weight of the road, and the wind whistles through them clean under the heaven. swore it was resonance playing, that the wind struck her note like a glass made to ring. Till Scanlon looked close and could read her again. She had danced with the wind, and the dance was the thing. She lies there still broken and deep in the green, a reef on the floor of the Narrows' cold bed. They got her old bones now, they let her lie down. The most famous failure that steel ever bred.